Maybe you want to avoid the Dog Mountain crowds this spring or find a new trail if perhaps some of your favorites are closed because of the Eagle Creek fire. We have Laura Foster, who guides hikes and has written lots of books with great recommendations, in studio today. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we're going to stay on the Washington side of things with some of your recommendations. And first up, a place that's dear to my heart is Cape Horn.
Yes, Cape Horn is great. It's, like Dog Mountain, it's on the Washington side, sunnier. So if you're looking for an escape from, gray skies, although not this weekend, we won't have to worry about that. Cape Horn is only 35 miles from Portland, and it's a hike that's about 8 miles long, but you can make it shorter. There's some really spectacular viewpoints that you can make as great turnaround points. So you can do a 2.5 mile hike or a 5 mile hike. And it's a pretty special hike because about 30 years ago, the whole top of Cape Horn, which is beloved by hikers today, was going to be a subdivision. So it was purchased by the founder of Friends of the Columbia Gorge, Nancy Russell, and that land was pretty much taken out of development potential and has been since purchased by the Forest Service. It's now open to the public. It's really a special place.
Well, a good thing they did, because yeah, it's one of the most beautiful hikes ever.
It is.
Next up is Katherine Creek. Where is that exactly?
Katherine Creek is about 80 miles from Portland. It's on the Washington side, and it is when the Columbia Gorge became a national scenic area. This place is so special. It was the very first place that the Forest Service decided to make a purchase. So I recommend it. It should be on everybody's bucket list, especially in March, April, May, when the wildflowers, like you see there, are just popping. That's a Columbia desert parsley, and it really blooms not too many places in the world except right here in our gorge.
Difficulty level on this one?
You can vary it up. There's even a universal access trail there, so it's a mile loop that's pretty much open to people of all abilities, and then there's hikes that range, 1,000 feet elevation. It's all over the place.
Okay, great. And then your next one is called the Crawford Oaks hike. Where's that at?
Oh, Crawford Oaks is about 100 miles from Portland, but the drive is so spectacular you won't even notice the mileage. And it's part of Columbia Hill State Park, which has many different hikes, one of which is a petroglyph tour. You have to reserve to get a space on that, but it's a short tour, and then you can do like the Crawford Oaks section. Crawford Oaks is wonderful. It's an old ranch land, and there's old ranch implements and fencing and barns, and they're kind of in a sea of flowers. It's just really spectacular. It's a great place for photos.
That one looks kind of unique.
Yeah,
compared to all the hikes we're used to seeing.
Right, and it's gentler grades, so you can do 8 miles or you can do 3 miles, and the views are amazing down the gorge, the eastern end of the gorge, where the gorge is so sculptural and scenic and very rocky.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
So Laura, you write books on all of this. I'm just curious what your favorite hike of all time is in this area.
Oh, my favorite hike is the one I'm doing the next day. I'm always just looking forward to it, and then when I get there, yeah, they're all good. Yeah, and so my book is Columbia Gorge Getaways, and it's a hiking book, but it also tells you what to do after the hike, where to go.
And the name of it again?
Columbia Gorge Getaways.
And where can you find that?
Bookstores all over town.
All over the place. And do you cover kind of both sides, Oregon and Washington?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think a lot of Portlanders aren't as familiar with the Washington side, so I really love to focus on Washington.
Okay, Laura Foster, thank you so much for being here and the great tips. It'll be a great weekend to get outside for sure.